Fuck you, you fucking little three blind mice.
That's offensive to, like, so many people.
Do you know what the meaning of bukkake is?
Megan!
Let's record a podcast.
Welcome back to another mini episode of the Incognito podcast, because the past couple episodes we have filmed tonight have been a disaster. This is Mariah returning with your guest, my mega dumb husband who I love so much, who is so cool and awesome, Keith.
Some of what you just said is true. Most of it is a lie.
Anyway, we decided to fire Megan for this episode because, you know, we're all a little schmammered, so we thought, let's just get this fucking one over with and let her enjoy her champagne life. And if she has anything to add, she is free to raise her hand and we will give her the wheel. This is a story time.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh, not Keith
This is
starting.
true.
This
This is
is
true.
a story time on Keith and I's obsession with Sam and Colby, for those who are fans, and how we decided to embark on their own journey to the Conjuring house. Keith?
Yeah, we decided to, as most people do on their wedding anniversary, go fight ghosts.
So why did we make this decision? Where did our obsession with Sam and Colby come in?
Well, I remember.
And where did they put their pets while they were away? Naturally.
Shut up, Megan. That's why you're not on here.
I know. I just want to say I was watching their beautiful babies while they were gone. Shout out our mascot, Milo. That's all I got to say.
Milo is a gift from God, and you're a gift from God for watching him. And we appreciate you. I say that like I'm one of the hosts.
Yeah.
We appreciate everything you
Anyway.
do. Thank you.
So, where did our Sam and Colby obsession come from?
Well, it really started when, in natural, like, dad fashion, I just kind of, like, was leaning over the couch when you were watching this video, and I was like, oh, who are these people? This looks interesting. What are they doing?
Who the fuck these bitches? I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Sam and Colby are...
Including the natural co-host of this episode.
Yes. So for everyone who doesn't know, Sam and Colby are ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. They're on YouTube, and they go to just all places throughout, not even just the country, but they all throughout the world. They've been to Dracula's castle, they've been to Chernobyl, everywhere.
A whole Conjuring series. They've been to the most haunted place in Kentucky, Ohio. They are the most popular YouTubers ever. They've been Queen Mary, Stanley Hotel, like you name it, they've been there.
They've held the Annabelle doll in their arms.
They sat in the Devil's Rock.
Tingly.
Megan's clit is on fire!
Tingly. They sat on the Devil's Rocking Chair at Zach Bagan's place in Las Vegas.
So as the guest on this episode, I just have to ask, so going into the story you guys are about to tell, were you skeptics? And I know,
Ooh.
Mariah, you're not, because you and I have had many episodes where we talk about the other side, but Keith, were you, like, what was your, I guess, opinion, body language, and actually, Mariah, you too, going into this, what was your opinion? What was your body language? What was your expectation out of this trip?
I think that's the cool thing, is that when I started watching Sam and Colby, I feel like I just clicked on a random video because I was just trying to find, like, something else to watch because, like, I ran out of cool things. And as I was watching it, Keith, like he said, he started to watch it with me and he's like, what's going on? He started to pique his interest. I have always been one to believe in ghosts. Keith, when we first started watching, said he didn't believe in any of that. So, Keith, I will let you speak on this, but, like, walk me through, like, when we first started watching versus where you're at now, like, and what maybe influenced your opinion on this.
Well, so a major aspect to, and it just so happened to be the video that Mariah was watching at the time. It was on the Conjuring house, and they had been to the Conjuring house multiple times to this point. I think in the part you were watching, this was their third stint there, and that is the only place that could have piqued my interest, because back when the Conjuring movie first came out, I actually ran into one of the people who owned the real-life Conjuring house in Rhode Island, and I had some conversations with him, and it was incredible to be able to talk to this guy. Now, granted, I didn't hear from him. It was my friend's father that had the conversations with this guy, and I, was able to listen in on it. And after hearing a lot of those stories and remembering a lot of that stuff, to actually see it in the Sam and Colby videos, it was, doors would lock on their own, windows and would fly open, all of this random stuff.
The name of the ghost.
The name of the ghost,
Abigail Arnold.
Abigail Arnold. The fact that all of it lined up really, that was kind of the first moment where I was like, yeah, maybe I do believe in some of this stuff.
So, when you were there, sorry, Mariah, to cut you off real quick, but who the hell is Abigail Arnold?
So we'll definitely get into that when we, when we get into, like, what our experience actually was like at the Conjuring house. But,
Well, so my main question was, Keith, okay, I know you were skeptical at first.
Yes.
I feel like throughout the time we've watched these videos, with all the proof Sam and Colby have uploaded, do you feel less skeptical? Where do you stand? Do you believe like I do, or are you still on the fence?
So, I think I was still skeptical even after watching some of the videos, because it's like, you never know what they're doing to that equipment. They could be messing with it, they could be trying to put in, like, traps and, like, signs, all that stuff. Who knows? But when we actually went to the Conjuring house, and this is jumping ahead a little bit, and we don't skip here, we're going to stick linear right to the story. So, it's really tough to say how I felt right beforehand, because, all I can think about is where I'm at now. I was very skeptical up until we went to the Conjuring house, and then boom, bazam, bazinga.
So
I believe.
Because of the Conjuring house, you actually believe, or are you just saying that?
No, it's hard not to believe, especially, you go to a haunted place, you have stuff happen to you that they say will happen to you in this haunted place, and it's not things I saw, it's things I felt. Not to jump ahead again, we don't jump ahead here.
Well, I mean, we can get right into it, because, really, the what do they call it? The meat and balls of
nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty is that we watched Sam and Colby, really got into the videos. We've been watching them religiously every night. It's so enjoyable. I love you guys. If you watch, can I be Eiffel Towered? Anyway.
Religiously as in, like, daily, not like shrine and
like a weird
worship
shrine
thing.
or anything.
Yeah, no cult.
It's not like Keith and I talk about being Eiffel Towered by you every day.
It's not a sex thing. It is.
They're like, we're staying away from these guys.
Not a sex thing.
Anyway, because of that,
They say that now, but, like, I know them. It's totally a sex
they're
thing.
really hot, not gonna lie.
Like, they are so into this. I've literally witnessed Keith and Mariah jacking off to this shit. Like, they're
fuck up.
so into it. I, like, walk in. I'm like, I just kind of want to walk Milo today. And, like, Jesus Christ, guys, get a room.
5 minutes ago, you're like, who are Sam and Colby?
I know. I love sarcasm.
So, all right.
It is a sex thing.
Let's move on. This is a mini, guys. So we are going to move on to the Conjuring house itself. We decided after we watched how fun would it be for our anniversary. We've been married 2 years. Let's go to the Conjuring house. All right, Keith, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, first off, the house was a lot smaller than I was expecting. I don't know how you
Really?
felt, but yeah, I mean, you saw it. Like,
I felt like it was what I expected.
well, like in the videos, like I feel like the driveway was a lot longer. I
The
feel like
driveway for sure, yes.
yeah, the driveway, like it was a very small little parking lot type of thing. That was weird. I was not expecting that.
The woods was a lot smaller. I thought, like, yes, it wouldn't far deep, but, like, I thought that the part that we went to that was very scary for me was a lot further in.
Yep.
So I just have to ask, as a special guest, as a very avid movie fanatic of the Conjuring series, when you guys went, what were some comparisons to the Hollywood film, and what do you think was like realistic to what you felt and what was actually there?
That's what's tough for us is because we aren't the movie watchers. We're watching, like, we're, like, based on the actual thing from the videos we watch. However, we did have the actual videographer from The Conjuring be the tour guide, and Keith has a way better memory than me, so Keith can say anything you picked up facts wise that was significant.
Yeah, so the house that we went to was not the house in the film. Two different things. The house in the film was somewhere down south. But this was not the actual house. That's kind of the biggest thing to, like, know. Yeah. But it was really cool to actually have the person who did a lot of the camera work for the Conjuring movie actually be our tour guide. And he was able to give us a lot of really cool information. And he actually, again, not to jump ahead, he did tell us a fun story about something that happened on set, which was very cool.
Ooh, was it the Bathsheba?
It was the Bathsheba. But we're not jumping ahead. Nope, we don't do that.
Part of the movie.
Ah.
Yep.
All right.
So, one of the first instances that I had when we actually walked into the house was, I don't know about you, but it felt very heavy. Like, the air felt very heavy. And yes, it was a very old-timey house, so it might have been the poor circulation, whatever you want to call it. There are ways to debunk it. The energy felt very heavy in the house. Definitely did.
Can I be honest with you with how things went for me in the beginning?
Yes.
So
Yep.
we get there. There are these other people that pull in at the same time as us. They're from Connecticut, I think, because The Conjuring's in Rhode Island.
One
So
of them
anyway,
actually came up from Texas, I think.
okay. Well, the two guys get out of the car. We talk to them. We sign our waivers because you have to sign a waiver.
Yep.
And we had about 10 minutes, a little less, to, like, explore the property and then meet up for the tour. So the tour guy says, well, you know, the woods is the scariest part. And I knew that from the Sam and Colby videos. But I'm thinking, well, it's midday. It looks like a nice trail. Like, it literally, nothing looks scary about
We're
this.
there anyway.
Literally. So we go down the trail, and as we're walking down the trail, I've said this to every single person I've relayed this story to, the ankles of my feet start to tingle like they're falling asleep. And it really freaked me out to the point where I even took a picture of my feet at one point to, like, see, is there something going on? So anyway, we're getting closer to the bridge that is, like, a very hot spot, apparently, with a river underneath, because they say water brings energy. And the closer we get, the more claustrophobic I am feeling. I'm outside, okay? And so I'm thinking, I don't feel good. And everybody's like, all right, well, we should probably immediately go back up because of the tour. So, okay. So we all start heading back up, and I am getting so claustrophobic, and I'm feeling like I can't breathe. Like, I almost thought I might pass out. I had the thought of, I don't know if I can do this tour. Like, I was dead ass uncertain if I was going to pass out and not be able to do the tour. But I was like, let's keep it going. Like, I can't, like, we didn't come this way for nothing. So, because I'm thinking, like, okay, let's see if it's all in your head, I pull up my Apple Watch. I pull up the heart monitor. I'm 125 beats per minute. I,
Just
at
walking.
a fast walking pace during my lunch breaks, I don't go past 112 beats per minute. I was slow walking up to the Conjuring house. It was 125. I go, oh my God. I show one of the guys that was with us. He says, you're just anxious. I go, okay. And then I look back. It jumped to 135. I was like, look at this. I'm not kidding. I feel like I'm going to pass out.
I get that high when I have like a panic attack, but not when I'm like
Right?
when
And
I'm
I
having
wasn't
like a
having panic
severe
attack.
anxiety.
So when I...
So, not to play devil's advocate here, and this was just genuinely my question I wanted to just put out in the open here. I'm a firm believer, so I'm not asking this because I don't believe you. I'm asking this for y'all zeros out there who don't fucking believe us. Fucking suck a dick. But I'll ask it anyway. How do you combat the fact that you went to a very haunted location? So, just to break it down, you guys left with the intention, knowing that you were going to a location that was known to be haunted. It wasn't like you stumbled upon it. There's movies about it,
Mhm.
whatever. How did you combat that psychological, I guess,
Yeah.
thing? Because you and I talk about it all the time. Like, I've literally had dreams from my mom and from friends who have lost parents, and it, like, the vivid detail they've given me is incredible, and I still have a hard time believing it, but because they believe it, I want to believe it too. And I've come to realize that it is true. But how in that moment, how did you guys combat what was real and what was anxiety?
So here's the thing. First thing, I go in the house and I almost felt better, which I was not expecting. But then I think, as we mentioned before, Abigail Arnold, who is the caretaker of the house, according to the Sam and Colby videos, most people have like heard of her through Spirit Box, like investigations, like whatever. Like, she protects the house. Like, there's some good spirits, there's a couple like bad trickster spirits, because the property of the Conjuring house was actually built on like the US's one of the worst wars we've ever had. So there's hundreds of dead bodies. It was an Indian war, a type of, right? Because it was
I
at
can't
Native
remember,
Americans.
actually.
There was a lot of elemental stuff.
I keep forgetting. Isn't that the same as the what's the other really famous haunting? Sugar Plums. It's in Connecticut, right? One of
I'm
the
not
original
sure.
houses that was haunted. The
Yeah.
Amityville haunting.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you. Amityville haunting.
All I know is that, like,
that was built on an Indian burial ground.
yes, all I know is that this was like one of the bloodiest wars, and so that's why the woods is so haunted. And so the house was built on that ground, but they have bad spirits, good spirits, blah blah blah. And Abigail Arnold, apparently, believe it or not, is like the caretaker, so to speak, of the house. Rumored.
So
Was she a good spirit?
Good, yes, very good.
yeah, so when we say caretaker, we don't mean like a person who goes there to take care of the house. We mean a spirit that is there
Yes.
taking care of that side.
So when I
Nice.
went in the house, I literally felt better. But then, okay, so here's my other thing. And I know Keith says we don't jump ahead.
We don't
But
jump ahead.
I'm
We
going to
stay.
jump ahead.
Okay.
So afterwards, I said, after the tour, yeah, right? I said to him, I had this feeling. I told him about the whole experience. I said, I need to verify if this was actually happening or not. Was it my anxiety because the tour didn't happen yet? I'm so calm. The whole tour happened. We're about to leave. I'm going to one more time go back down there and see what happens. Girl, the same thing happens. My feet don't get tingly. That's the only difference. But the claustrophobia and my heart rate going happened once again.
So it's
The
one
same
thing.
spot.
it's one thing for her to feel that there. I was feeling a lot of the same stuff. A lot of it. Now, my heart rate didn't get up to 135. It got up to about 115, which is
That's still crazy for you.
a lot for a very athletic person who I do have a job where I am moving around a lot. It's not like I'm a very sedentary person. So for me to get up to 115 just walking around, it does say a lot, and it did feel suffocating is the only good word. Like claustrophobic, I don't even
claustrophobic. Like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
like something was like, it felt like I was in a stuffy room, like out of nowhere. Like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, for all my homies out there with a peanut allergy, first off, I see you. Shouts out. For anybody who's ever been into anaphylactic shock, minus like the tingly feeling that you get, like it almost felt like that type of claustrophobic. Like my throat was like, it almost felt like I was like closing up. It was absolutely crazy.
It was a lot. But yeah.
Bonkers. Anyways, yeah, so we don't jump ahead, so we're going to go back to the part that we were at, which is the beginning of the tour. Yeah, so quick tour, that's what we're going to be going for here. So we get in the place, we get into the Conjuring house, and he starts giving us a bunch of information about, the history of the house. He starts putting in a little bit that has to do with the movie. But for the most part, he's just kind of, talking about a lot of the experiences that other people have had in the house, I believe, correct?
Yeah, he definitely did. He talked about the bread maker. Was that it? By the stove, you remember?
Yep, the bread maker,
He said that it would randomly open, and he said it like, it hasn't opened in a couple days, but like, it just randomly pops open, and...
Yep, just a normal steel door. Those are obviously very light. They open very easily, of course. So, for those people out there that are thinking like, oh yeah, it's a wood door, like maybe a draft hit. No, this was a steel door that would randomly open on its own.
We went into the seance room, nothing special there. If anyone watches the Sam and Colby videos, I need to touch on this with Megan. She has no idea about the, what is their name?
What are you trying to think of?
The ABC. What's her name?
Oh no. Oh my.
Cody and
Satori.
Is
yeah.
Megan has no idea about that. That's going to be another podcast topic.
Oh yeah,
but
that's got to be for a different time.
This guy even mentioned it later on in the tour about how he's seen it, and like he's like, oh yeah, it's legit. So
basically, they can touch hands, and then they can hear spirits wandering around. It's very cool. They can communicate using the ABC method, which is basically just you count, one knock for yes, two knocks for no, that type of thing. And they count.
So when they touch hands, they can say, okay, like, what are you trying to say? And then they'll, like, the ghost will, like, knock somewhere in the room, like, how many words it is. Kind of like charades, like, how many words, right?
Yeah,
and
it's very interesting.
They go through the words. Okay, first word, they're like A, B, C, D. And then if it's, like, starts with a D, the ghost will knock. And it'll be like dog. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway,
yeah.
Super cool. That's totally another podcast episode. I feel like I have to show Megan at some point. So that way
absolutely. She needs to be up to date on that. Yep.
But aside from that, the other things to happen to us in the house, I think we should just mention the fun parts. In the library area where books fly off the shelf, swear to God, I had on the lower left part of my back, it felt like a pinch. And I've told Keith that before.
A pinch?
And I like reached back because I was like, oh, bug. No bug. I was like, fuck, that hurt. So, okay, there was that. And then upstairs in the bedroom, I was feeling like a headache and like a little nauseous, but it was hot, so could be that.
Yes, but it should be worth noting that right before that, you're saying you're feeling all that stuff. What did the tour guide say to us right beforehand?
Well, so that's what I was getting at is,
Yep.
like, yeah, I was like, it could be, it was hot. But then the guy said, so how are the girls doing? Does anyone feel like, is everyone feeling okay? And we were all like, nah. And he's like, okay, well, I asked because girls recently have been feeling very nauseous, very not okay in this room. One girl, the last tour yesterday she had to leave and she didn't come back to the tour. She literally went to vomit. Like, she was not feeling. He said vomit, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Just like she wanted to, or she
wanted
did?
to vomit.
Like, she just
very
couldn't
nauseous.
finish.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
So, the last thing for me before Keith says his stuff,
Mhm.
we go downstairs, and in the Sam and Colby videos, the first video, they went downstairs and they were talking to the spirit through the spirit box, and the spirit kept saying like Beelzebub and stuff, like demon stuff, and they were like, oh my god, this is so scary, obviously, right? But as they're doing the Conjuring series years later, they come to find out through investigation, spirit box, whatever, that the demon downstairs was a trickster named Dave, apparently, if this is correct, if what they were researching was correct.
It's just Dave.
So when we watched it, because I watched the first one without Keith, we went to rewatch that. We were watching it, and Keith and I were joking, and we're like, why are they so scared? It's just Dave. Like, it's just Dave. Why are they so terrified? So, we go downstairs in the Conjuring house where this had all happened in the videos they shot. And I looked at Keith, and I tapped him, and I said, it's just Dave. And after I said that, right underneath my jawline, like right here, but people can't see. It's like towards the left of my face, right underneath my jawline. That vein, that like jugular, sharp pain. Like I was like, oh, like it was like a weird, uncomfortable feeling I've never felt in my jawline before. It wasn't like a choke. It was like it was just uncomfortable, a very sharp pain there.
Like a little jab.
And so right after that, Keith wouldn't hear it because I was like, so I literally under my breath, I was like, sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, please stop. And then it didn't happen again. But anyway, those are my experiences, and that is the story I've stuck to this whole time. Nothing else. Those were the crazy things that happened for me.
Yeah, for me, I mean, when I was going into the experience, I wasn't really trying to pay attention to the things I would see. It was more, I was trying to observe how I felt. That was the biggest thing, because that is the only thing I can fully verify is, like, this is something off. Whereas if I heard anything, if I saw anything, who knows what that could be? Who knows if they had planted something? But the second that I got into the Conjuring house, I felt a pretty intense pain in my lower back. And it was like pretty instant from the second that we were standing around. And that's not something that would normally happen to me. I don't generally feel lower back pain. It's not a super common thing for me. And it persisted pretty much the entire time that we were in there, except for two areas. There was the seance room where, for the most part, or no, it was the kitchen. It was the kitchen.
Yeah, that was the part where you said you were fine, the kitchen.
Yep, it was in the kitchen where they had a lot of sage, they had a lot of other herbs.
Holistic
things that are supposed to fight
protect
off spirits.
from spirits.
So ironic that...
Mm-hmm.
Very ironic that is the area that I'm in.
Yep. Okay, shut the fuck up, Megan. For those who couldn't hear, she said I broke the love crystal. I get it. I get it.
Yep, crystals broke.
All right, Keithy. Everybody knows rose quartz.
I don't.
Oh, well, that's a you problem. All right, Keith, anything else?
Yeah, no. So when we were in that air, or when I was in the kitchen, my lower back didn't hurt almost at all, which was crazy because that was the area where they had all of the holistic stuff that's supposed to fend off spirits. So funny how my back doesn't hurt there. And in the basement, it hurt, I would say, about twice as bad. Like it went
Damn.
from like a dull pain, a dull intense pain, weird oxymoron there, but it went from that to like a sharp, like I feel like I just slipped a disc type of pain. And
That's where they said that the guys felt it the most. They said was the basement.
yeah, so the tour guide said, "Hey, this is usually where the guys feel it more. How are you guys doing?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, I've had a pain the whole time, but it feels way worse here." Now, for you guys to know, we spent the day, this was our wedding anniversary, so we spent the entire day in Boston, walking around, doing this stuff, and my back didn't hurt at all. It was just in the house, at no other point in time. So it's kind of tough to look at something like that where it's like that is a feeling. They can't manufacture that. They can't make my lower back hurt. That has to be something, and you hear it a lot of times when they talk in the paranormal hunting videos. They talk about the lower back hurting as a very common sign that you know they're in contact with you in some way, shape, or form, which was very, very interesting. It was
And
crazy.
as much as it's like, oh, your lower back hurt, like everybody's lower back hurt. The thing is Keith is not somebody who believes in the spirits. I feel like for him, he would just be like, this is bullshit before he would say, oh, well, my back hurt. And I think it might have something to do with it because it didn't hurt elsewhere. That's the only thing, is because, like, he is kind of a baby. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, when my stomach hurts.
He's a baby to stomach pain, but like, so I'm saying if his back hurt, it wouldn't just hurt in the house. That's the weird part.
Yeah, it would have been everywhere.
He would have been like, "Oh, my back hurts" in the train, like at the Boston place.
Oh,
it's
I
like,
would have been bitching and complaining about
That's
it the
what I'm
entire
saying.
day.
So I'm like, that's where it's like, okay, you know,
Yeah, so it was very interesting.
that
And
was the experience.
yeah, that was probably the thing I'll take away from it is, it physically makes you feel different. It wasn't.
Yeah, I think Conjuring House was definitely an experience, and we want to go again
Yeah, we're gonna go fuck up a demon next time.
in August. If Megan wants to come, Megan should come.
Yep, we're gonna go fight a demon. We're gonna go talk to it. Maybe, just maybe, try to get something a little sexy happening. Sexy with the demon.
And this episode is going to be continued when Megan, Mariah, Keith, and my parents all fuck the same demon.